Fortunately, I was able to locate some pretty decent 2x2s finally at Home Depot. I had to open up an awful lot of bundles in order to find at least a half a dozen to get me started, but that's the point, is to get going. So I do have the members left to right that will go on the top and bottom of the front and against the back wall. And then I'm going to have cross pieces to go between the front and back, and then from the bottom rails up to the top. So at least it's a start, and hopefully we can get a frame built so we can top it off with a live edge slab and then install my 2-burner propane stove. Well, the counter's taking shape. Got my basic form up here. I've kept enough room right here to where my refrigerator will fit right in there. I'm hoping to frame it out here and put it on slides so that I can just, pull the fridge out from this direction. But other than that, it's looking pretty good. It's all fastened down to the floor and into the wall. And I want to put a live edge top on here. And then from here up, I'll make a cabinet there, like a pantry, to hold all my food. And although I couldn't find a piece of live edge pine slab to place for a countertop, I don't know what the issue was. I called a number of local mills, some of whom I've used before and gotten slabs from. They did not have anything in the size that I needed. And as usual, I looked around Home Depot and I found that they had a 6-foot long piece that was 19 inches wide, which is exactly what I needed for a countertop. And I figured, well, it's functional. There isn't going to be much of any type of weight on top of the counter anyway, and I didn't want to hold my van build up any longer. So this piece is glued and screwed to the framing, and I believe the next step would be to outline the template of my 2-burner propane stove and get ready to cut a hole and install that. Well, I'm going to try to sneak in behind the driver's seat and just show you some of the updates that I've got going on. The cedar planking has been installed on this end of the cabinet behind the driver's seat. I was able to mount my Midland MXT575 GMRS radio and just got it wired in. And I installed my 50 amp circuit breaker, and this is going to control the power between my MPPT charge controller, which is also a DC to DC charge controller. That's in the back of the van, and the cable, a 4-gauge cable that I ran from the back up here to the front, will attach to this. The other end will go to the starting battery of the van, and then that way the solar will help keep the starting battery charged, and vice versa. When it's shady, the alternator will help keep my solar batteries topped off. What I really like about this MXT575 GMRS radio is that all of the controls are built right here into the microphone. You can switch it on and off, you can change the volume, you can change the channels. Everything is controlled right from this mic. All you have to do is press the power button for about 3 seconds. That's on the top. Hold it down and this will power up. And you can change your channels, like I said, and everything else, and talk right from this one microphone. The wire that feeds power up to my GMRS radio was run along the back wall against this brick board, and as you can see, I used plastic cable clips and got out my label maker, and I wanted to put a label on the wire so that I can identify what wire goes to what appliance as I run them through the van. And a couple things going on back here. You can see that I have installed the cedar planking on the other end of my cabinet build, and I use the same method that I did before, or that I pointed out before in a previous video. I took a piece of cardboard and made a cardboard template, and that is a lot cheaper than making multiple cuts on lumber and then throwing that away. So that worked out pretty good. Got that all enclosed. And then when I ran the wiring to my GMRS radio, I went ahead and I took a pass-through bushing that I had and took a hole saw and I cut a hole through here yesterday and then ran the wiring through there. That just provides a safe passage for the wires to come through without them getting damaged, and it's large enough to where it will accommodate other wiring as well. Then I ran the wiring up through a oversized piece of conduit, and that conduit runs the length of my bed to the solar setup, and I use an oversized piece so that again I can run additional wiring through there. A few years ago I purchased a pack of 4 of these LED strip lights. I wanted to place a couple in the back of my Jeep JK to eliminate that at night when I went camping, and I had 2 left over and I thought these would be a good fit right here in the garage area of my van. These are wired directly into my solar system. They have an on and off switch, and they light it up really nice under here. And this is the company that I got my 2-burner propane stove from. It does have the orifices for both natural gas and propane, and it does come with obviously the template to put on the counter and trace around and cut out, and then you have your instruction sheet, nice heavy duty grates, and then you have the stove itself. Like I said, just a 2-burner. It does have electronic ignition. Controls are at the other end here, and it's all stainless steel, so it should be easy to clean. I took my measurements to get past the overhang of my counter and then my framing underneath, and I set the template where I wanted the stove, and now it's just a matter of tracing around, drilling a hole for my jigsaw blade and cutting it out. And now that my template is all marked out on the counter, it's time to drill and cut. I don't have a shop vacuum, and the only place I can think of to clean up my mess was to go to one of 2 different car washes in the area that feature free vacuums. So I thought, well, I'll bring my drill, I'll bring my jigsaw, and I'll pull into one of those places, do my cutting, and then I can clean up my mess. And that's just what I did. And now I'll give it a try and see how it fits. Well, I don't know about you, but I think that that fits pretty goddamn good. There is a rubber seal that they include to go along the cut edge before you set this in place and then attach it from underneath. But I think before I do any of that, I'm either going to put a coat of poly down on the raw wood, or I'm going to apply a light stain and then poly it. But either way, it's going to get a coat of poly before I go ahead and put this in permanently. But I think it's going to look great and work great right here. This manufacturer provides you with 2 sets of nozzles. One set is for natural gas, which is what these are showing, and the other set is for propane, which is what I'm going to be using. They're very easy to change out. These took a 9/32 socket. I simply unscrewed those and replaced them on the stove with the propane nozzles. And there's the assembled stove. Everything all together. All the components are very sturdy, very durable and heavy, and I look forward to using it. And the piece that I cut out from the installation of the stove didn't go to waste. I had a couple folding brackets, and I rounded the edges, gave it a quick sanding on the edges and then on the face, and this lifts up and locks into place. Provides a nice sturdy surface to work on, and I'll probably end up doing the same thing as the countertop. I'll either apply a stain in polyurethane, or I'll just put a coat of polyurethane on it. And as you can see, I try not to waste anything. This will come in very handy right here. It's good and sturdy, and it's just a week of updates that I'm able to bring to you and show you what progress that I've made. A little bit here, a little bit there. If you like the video, please give a thumbs up. And if you're watching and you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Thank you all. Hope you have a great week.